It's hard doing all that by yourself. You gotta run over here, get ready. See, I didn't even come up with an intro or nothing yet. I was like, man, I don't even know how to start once we get going.
Yeah, we'll roll with it, man. It's gonna be good either way. It's a learning experience for me and you. And we're just two brothers chopping it up.
So, with the hit record, I'll be like, this is the Humble Under Him podcast. Got my guest today, my friend, homie, whatever, and then you introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be like, Matt Malone's here today. You can just introduce yourself however you want to. You know what I mean? Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Let's see if we get this thing going. All right. Yo. All right, man. Well, today on the Humbled Under Him podcast, man, I got my friend, a guy that I met about a year ago or so, man. I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell him a little bit about what he's got going on, and get this thing rolling.
What's up, guys? Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah.
Having us set up here. I'm just impressed, first of all, just walking in and seeing the setup you got. Man, you put some time into it.
Oh yeah, man. It took me weeks, months, almost a whole year.
Wow.
Almost quit doing it, tore it down a couple times.
Right. Start over.
And then now that I got it done, I was like, man, I don't even want to do it no more.
Pass off the work to somebody else.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I got a podcast studio for rent.
Man, it's tight though. I'm grateful, man. Just grateful to be here and be on the podcast with you. My name is Matt Malone. For you people, Matthew Perry Henry Malone the first. If we want to get technical, but yeah,
Give us your birthday and social too.
I'm August 12th, man. It just happened. But yeah, so I'm excited to be here and chop it up with a good brother today. But
yeah, man. So, man, I followed you online for a while. I don't know who shared something you did. You know, you were doing that Monday motivation. And I was like, man, all right, I like this guy. And then when you did what was it, the DIS assessment?
right.
We went to 8. And I was like, man, I was talking about you this morning. I was like, man, it's kind of weird where you got friends and then you got something going on, and you don't want to tell your friend,
Right.
because they're going to tell your friend answers, you know.
Right.
And then I think you opened up to me about what you had going on, and I was like, man, I would have saved that for like the second date. You know what I mean? Like, but
I've done that.
we can get into that later on if you want to.
Oh, for sure, man.
But
I'm open book.
so what do you do? What you do for a living? You got
Man,
something new?
I did. I just started a nonprofit organization, and it's called Frontline Ministries. And Frontline is it's an old military term, right? So your frontline soldiers, they were the first one to enter the battle, the first one to engage the war, and then after all the blood was shed and the dust settled, the smoke cleared, they were the last ones to retreat. And so for me, taking that mindset of I want to be the first one to engage a young athlete in their mess, in their sin, in their struggle, in their pain. And then when they feel everybody else is giving up on them, by God's grace, I want to be the last one standing saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm going to point you to the truth, point you to the Father. So that's sort of the, I guess, the background or the mindset behind Frontline. First one's in and last to leave.
Put Frontline up there. Now that you explained it like that, I was like, hold on, man.
Yeah.
You just deal with mostly athletes. It's kind of
And
the passion.
Yeah, man. I was a student pastor for almost 6 years at a church outside of Nashville, and really enjoyed it. I mean, learned a lot, grew a lot, was humbled in the process. Um, but I always struggled as a student pastor trying to connect with athletes because schedules nowadays are crazy. Especially Wednesday nights are no longer sacred. They
Yeah.
got practice, they got games.
Yep.
Something's going on if you're a high school athlete, uh, and so I had a hard time really connecting with athletes, and I got connected with a guy who was a character coach or a chaplain for Station Camp High School's football team, and he was in the process of transitioning out, and I was in the process of looking for an opportunity to step into that role.
Yeah.
By God's grace, man, the timing was perfect, and he took me in, introduced me to the coaches. Mike, I'll never forget, man. The first time I had an opportunity to speak to that team, I got stood up on a cooler first.
Yeah, I think I seen the video. I think I
So,
seen the
you know,
video.
I'm 5'6", so I needed to see everybody. But so I was
You
up
know
on.
that, and that's them kids will probably never remember or never forget. Man, dude stood up on a cooler.
That's right. That was sort of my mo, man.
Yeah.
I'd bring the cooler. I would pack the cooler with popsicles.
Yeah.
so so I'd give them a popsicle and then give them the word. Um, but man, I remember the response after I talked to those guys. We talked about vision, having a vision for your not only football but having a vision for life. And afterward, man, the response from those guys, it was like God says so clearly in that moment, "This is why I put you on earth.
Yeah.
This is why you are here, and it's to raise up the next generation of athlete." Um, and so I was still at the church at the time. God opened up a door to move into a ministry called FCA,
Yeah.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and I was served there for about 2.5 years, and then felt the nudge or the call, if you will, around March 2020. Quarantine, sitting in the basement, um, not being able to go to schools, not being able to be around sports, competition, athletes. My purpose was sort of robbed from me.
Yeah. He was shut down.
Struggling. I was struggling. And in the midst of all that, man, I felt like God dropped Frontline on my heart to basically expand my territory and expand my reach. Because at the time I had been working in Sumner County,
Yeah.
which is about 30 minutes outside of
So like when you
Nashville.
say expand your reach, where couldn't go because of who you worked for, they were like, no, you can't go talk to nobody, or
Right.
you
So
know.
so with FCA there's offices. There's Northern Middle Tennessee office. There's a Nashville office. And then there's other offices in the state of Tennessee. So if I wanted to serve or work in Nashville schools, I would need to transfer offices. And I necessarily didn't want to do that because I live in
Sumner
Sumner
County.
County.
Yep.
My kids go to school in Sumner County. I'd built, 5 years worth of relationships there. So I necessarily didn't want to leave there. But this would give me an opportunity to sort of have a foot in
Yeah.
both worlds, right?
Yep.
And so as we get into it, um, just a month ago, God's opened up a door to serve at a high school in Nashville, and it's been incredible.
Yeah.
It's been awesome, and it's almost been like validation.
Yeah.
Like this is why I had you take that step.
That's scary. I want to quit my job so bad and just do what I think I'm called to do,
Right, right,
but I'm like, am I really called to do that?
right.
Or is the door open and it hasn't been prepared?
Yeah.
Why am I jumping too early?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to run in the kitchen and be like, oh, is dinner ready? And it's not.
That's right. Right.
And then he fill up on, dessert,
Right.
not God sent. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like, oh, I jumped at the opportunity.
For sure.
So started, I don't know if technically doing podcast or whatever. I like talking to kids more one on one.
Oh yeah.
I seen videos of you talk. I was like, man, there ain't no way I'm gonna get up and talk. I can't talk that loud. I mumble, and people be like, well, Moses mumbled or Abraham,
Right.
mumbled.
Right.
And I was like, there ain't no way that them people listen to him. Da,
Right.
da, 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 da. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're not gonna follow me. But
But
I've always had a passion to help kids where I went through a lot of. I mean, everybody's calling it trauma now, but
right.
I went through a lot of mistakes, a lot of trying to figure out who I was, or getting in a lot of trouble where somebody don't need to go through the dumb stuff I went through.
Right.
Just listen,
Right.
try to help them out. But having children of my own,
Yeah.
I mean, you probably know this where, hey, don't touch the stove, it's hot.
Touch your stove.
They're not going to learn that stove is hot until they
Right.
touch it and burn themselves.
Right. Right.
And then you
Right.
feel bad and you just kind of go, hey, I warned you.
Right.
But, and then if you do make a mistake, I mean, end of the world.
Right.
You got to learn. It's more of learning, of the learning process of, hey, I don't want to go down that path.
Right. Man, I got on the learning topic. I got pulled over yesterday, and I got a boy. He's 9 years old. He's been wanting to sit up in the front seat with me,
Yeah.
in the passenger seat. So I was reluctant at first, but I'm pretty laid back in nature. So I was like, yeah, okay, sit up here. So he's been sitting in the front seat for, probably 4 or 5 months now. And what's crazy is that it's almost opened up this whole new world of communication for us.
Sure. Yeah. You sure you didn't get pulled over because they thought the kid was driving? 'Cause you was,
You're funny, man.
I seen that phone book fall out
You're
of
funny.
fall out when you got out the car.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so he's been sitting over in the front seat. We've been having really good communication,
Yeah.
because he's like, oh, I'm a big man now, I'm
Yeah.
grown. I'm up here with daddy. And so he's just been opening up, talking about school and his friends and everything, teachers and stuff. But I'm always telling him, man, you got to put your seatbelt on. Easton, put your seatbelt on. And yesterday we were running late. We just pulled out of the neighborhood. I was going to pick up my other son from therapy, and he didn't have a seatbelt on. He was sort of sitting toward the front of the seat, and he had his hands on the dashboard. Sure enough, man, state trooper whipped in behind, turned his lights on, and I was like, man, here we go. And so, it's a bummer because you never want to get pulled over and you never want to get a ticket. But the officer was so genuine and so real, and I understood his point. I mean, he don't want to work an accident where there's a 9-year-old fatality,
Yeah.
right? And I get it, man. I understand, but sometimes we have to get pulled over, and we got to learn
Yeah.
the hard way. But the important thing is that we understand it's not the officer's fault. I mean, it's not him that is not wearing his seatbelt. It's our responsibility. It's my responsibility to make sure my son, especially if he's going to sit in the front seat, he's going to have his seatbelt on. So, yeah, it's life, man. It's a dance. We learn as we go, as the old country song says. But yeah,
where my kids tell me to put my seatbelt on.
That's
I kind
awesome.
of grew up. There wasn't a seatbelt law at first.
Right,
And older cars, the thing don't start beeping. Like I'm
right.
not putting it on, or I forget to. You
Yeah,
know, I try to I try to remember, but
yeah.
my kids will be like, "You can put your seatbelt on."
I'm good.
The guy got me.
I'm protected.
Yeah, there's airbags. I said, what if we get trapped in there and I can't get the seatbelt off? No, I'm good. No, kids wear your seatbelts. Parents, make sure your kids got the seatbelts on. But
For you, it's up to
I
you.
might not have mine on.
Oh man, dude. How about this jersey you're rocking today, man?
Man, I've had this jersey for a while now.
Yeah.
Never wear it. I'm always wearing black,
Uh-huh.
black and gray. I have a Titans jersey on for Titans game. I don't want to
Titans.
wear black today.
Mm.
I mean, I had it on my daughter. Got your jersey on? I was like, yeah, I just found it. I mean, it was hidden in the closet.
So
Yeah.
so what's the Titans gonna do this year?
Well, like every year, I predict that they're gonna win the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
but I honestly think they got a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense got the defense is what hurt them last year,
Right.
but the offense, I mean, the offense can put up points with anybody. Problem is, it can't stop nobody.
Yeah.
And then offense only does so much where you're not going. It's not your day every day.
Right.
You kind of need the defense to pull out a couple games where we got some good mixture of offense, defense.
Did they do anything in the draft to cheer up the defensive side?
I mean, they drafted. So in the first round, they drafted a guy named Caleb Farley.
Mm-hmm.
On everybody's board, they got him as the number one corner, top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Well, he set out all last year because of COVID. So
Uh,
he didn't even play last year.
where do you go to school?
Virginia Tech, I think.
Gotcha.
But he had only played corner for maybe a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
But then he had back surgery. So he might be ready. They just cleared him to practice. And so,
Hey, it worked out for Simmons.
yeah, so, I mean,
They
it's
took
kind of
they
one of
took
them
a
things.
they took a risk
Yeah.
on him, and he's been a beast.
So, yes, so they're down in Tampa, practicing with Tampa Bay right now.
Right.
Seeing something where dude went one-on-one with Gronk,
Mm-hmm.
snatched the ball from Gronk.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, the Titans have never had a corner like this guy. He's kind of built like Jalen Ramsey.
Oh yeah.
Got them long arms.
Yeah.
I think he played receiver.
Right.
He's only played corner for 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's still learning, but he's got the ball skills of a receiver. So when the ball's thrown, he ain't trying to bat it down. He's
For
trying
sure.
to catch it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's what we need.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
we ain't had a. I mean, Adoree Jackson was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out, So,
Right.
but AJ Brown, that dude's something else.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, that dude's something else.
Unbelievable.
And
I'm hoping.
now we got Julio Jones.
Hey,
Come on, man.
I'm hoping Najee Harris will sort of follow in Derrick Henry's footsteps a little bit, man. I know we don't, but I bet we got some listeners
But he's
out
gonna
there.
be good. Just the stuff I've heard about him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. Pittsburgh's offensive line is all shook up this year. Big Ben's in his 18th season, I think.
Yeah, he's on.
Borrowed time.
I mean, yeah.
I know, I bet.
They're good though. I mean, you can't. I mean, they're up there, but kind of. You don't. I don't sit there and go, man, I hate Jacksonville.
Right.
Jacksonville ain't whooped us.
Yeah.
You know, the Steelers, man, get them out of
That's the way I felt about Tom Brady and the Patriots for
here.
years.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't
Tom
like.
Brady's the big brother, man. We
Yeah, I
couldn't
don't
we
like the
we could never
Patriots.
beat
I
him.
don't like Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
You
Baltimore.
know,
Baltimore's gonna be tough. That whole division, the AFC North between Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore, uh, that's gonna be a slugfest, man.
yeah, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, man, I was surprised that they beat up the Titans like they did last year.
Right,
I was like, what is going on?
right,
They ain't won but one game.
yeah,
They put a hurting on us.
right,
And then, man, there's a guy I work with, man. He's a big Bengals fan, and the Bengals beat the Titans. He didn't care nothing else about.
right.
Can't say nothing. Well, we whooped y'all,
Yeah,
but
no
still, we
kidding.
11-5. Y'all are 3-13. We're better. Nope, no, you're not. And then
Oh,
Burrow got hurt, and you're like, man, yes,
right,
you
right,
know. But
right.
I hate that he got hurt. But
Oh yeah, he'll be back, man. He's
it's
coming
on.
back this year.
And so,
Talk to me.
well, what type of music you like?
Oh man, give me the day and the mood, and is the sun out? Is it cloudy? It all depends, man. But I love hip hop. Um, some of the kids nowadays, I try to listen to some modern stuff. Some of the stuff they listen to, Young Boy, Moneybag Yo. Um, just try to get a feel for.
They talk about some of them talk about some stuff, man. It's like trouble with my 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah,
Some of the boys. She was probably about 10.
yeah,
I'm like, this boy said what to you?
yeah,
And then I was like,
yeah.
came down. I came, they were playing Fortnite or whatever, and I came down and I could hear what they were listening to, and I was like, that's
Right,
they
right,
listening to something they don't know what's going on.
right. They don't understand
Yeah,
the lyrics. They're just
kind of
jiving with the beat.
yeah, they're kind of repeating
It
them.
was right, 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 right. Um, but for me, man, just in the work that I do, being able to establish a connection like that,
Yeah, you got
you
to be
know,
able to relate.
with a high school or a college athlete, be able to throw out a name and they say, "Oh, you listen to him," and I don't have it in my ears all the time, every single day, because that stuff affects you. It
And
affects your spirit.
talking to a friend of mine about that, I was like, man, to only listen to Christian hip hop,
Yeah,
you know, just kind of didn't really listen to the secular music that was out.
right,
I just kind of had totally blocked it out. I didn't know some of the people were,
right,
and DMX had passed away. I
right.
was like, man, I remember that first DMX album, man. That like saved my life when
Stop,
yeah,
stop,
that saved my
oh
life
man,
when I
I'm
was
gonna
younger.
shop.
So, and then some of the other artists kind of start popping up, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I like him. But then I noticed my attitude had changed.
Mhm.
Started looking at things different.
Mhm.
You know, ah, in this little video, man, dude got a Maserati. I want a Maserati.
Right. Right.
Before I didn't want one.
Right.
Like, oh man, what he got on? Oh, I want a chain like that. You know.
Right.
Oh man, did you see his watch? Look at his shoes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man,
Becomes your hero.
yeah, I don't really like, not not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's like, man, I'm old, man. I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
What I look like rocking a big old chain, So kind of like some jewelry, kind of makes you feel a little better about yourself. But
Right.
listening to a guy I follow on Instagram, he was like, man, why am I going to buy a Rolex when I could pay for my parents' rent? I could pay for my mom's rent for 2 years.
Right.
But I'm gonna wear a watch that costs that much money.
Right.
All the stuff my mama did for me,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, that makes odd sense. Like, yeah, why? I'm gonna walk around with $40,000-$50,000 on my wrist.
Yeah. Mm.
You know, when my kids eating ramen noodles. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
ain't been on
Right.
vacation in years. Like, come on, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, your priority, man.
Any sense? Like,
Oh.
I seen another one was like, you want to have $100,000 in the bank
Mhm.
and drive a $5,000 car,
Mhm.
or do you want to have $100,000 car and have $5,000 in the bank?
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was like, really, just needed to get you from A to B,
Right. Right. Right.
safely.
That's why I got the big sexy van out
Yeah,
there.
old minivan Matt.
Kia, baby.
Yeah,
See, that thing's got 251,000 miles right now, and I'm just praying that the good Lord will help it get to 300,000. That's my goal. That's what I'm shooting for. That thing was given to me, uh, and like 6, 7 years ago now, and so it's been such a blessing so far, so durable. Um, so I'm hoping, man, we can get a good 50 more thousand out
50
of it.
more thousand.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Kia,
man.
baby.
Yeah, yeah. If it runs, it runs.
Side mirrors popped out, windshield's cracked, radio don't work. I got a Bluetooth speaker in the back, but hey,
Yeah.
we make it whip.
Hey, that's what you got to do. Yeah, I had a car, man. The AC was out.
Oh my goodness, now, the AC
Three,
does work, thankfully.
three of the windows didn't roll down.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Boy, I'm talking about.
When was this?
They were probably 15 years ago.
Wow,
Man, I still drove that thing.
crazy.
Didn't realize that, but man, I got spoiled now. Where look, man, don't drive with the window down. I don't care how nice it is. I
Uh huh.
cannot hear that sound.
Right,
Like
right.
it's like torture to me.
Yeah,
Like I done moved up a little bit.
yeah.
Got the AC working
Come on, baby.
now. So,
Yes,
but
sir.
a little bit. I don't know if I told you, but a little bit about my humbled under him stuff, man. And
Yeah.
people have always asked me, well, why'd you name it that? You know, why I used to run around. I say all the time. I'll say Team It says Team on my jersey,
Hmm.
and I always said all the time. Half the time I didn't know what you were saying, or
Right.
paying attention. And, I just always said it. I was in church one day, and I was like, man, humbled under him. HUH.
Wow.
I don't know where it popped in my head, but
Wow.
it popped in my head. Humbled. HUMBLED.
Right.
And it was like, a lot of people are like, man, I'm humble. I'm like, man, I've been humbled, past tense. I know certain things I've tried to do without God.
Right.
Didn't work. And all of a sudden, all these things start falling in place after I put God in it.
How long ago was that?
But the sad part about it, I was going through all these convictions, and everything was going on, coming up with the name, and kind of hiding it from everybody. Like I ain't told my wife, I ain't told anybody. My mom passes away,
Mm.
and it was like he passed away. And I don't know why, how, what was really going on. Just didn't. Uh,
Yeah.
she passed away in her sleep.
Wow.
55 years old. This was probably about 10 years ago, I think.
Crazy.
But like, wasn't like she was sick. Like she picked my daughter, or she took my daughter to church Wednesday night. Picked my daughter up from school Thursday. Didn't show up.
Mm.
Where's my mom at? Can't find her.
Mm.
My brother goes by to check on her. She passed away in her sleep. Like, it don't make any sense, but it's kind of like, you know, that was the the jet fuel that was like, okay, this is gonna take off.
Right.
Like, this is the motivation that I need. Now I have to make somebody proud.
Right.
You know what I mean? That it's no longer here. And then it's kind of one of them where now I got an extra. I got extra tool in my tool bag.
Right.
For that kid that says, "Well, I lost my mom." I lost my mom too.
Yeah.
Now, when I was talking to my pastor about it, he was like, "Yeah, I lost my mom about 2 years ago," and I'm like, you had your mom for 70 years. I only had mine for 30 years.
Right.
You had yours for 70. I don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
And it hurt a little bit. Mother's Day was really rough.
Right.
I'm surprised my wife is still married to me after the first Mother's Day, but
Mm.
you know, you need things. Sometimes you need things to change you. You're not just going to wake up one day. Something needs to happen. It doesn't need to be as tragic or as hurtful. Something sometimes people need to go through something. You got to go through something to get to something.
Yeah.
Don't just pop up. So
were you really living for God then? Or?
man, yeah, we have been going to church, been helping out with the youth group, have been doing a lot of things.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty much, man. We worked and went to church.
Yeah.
It was now we can't go to church. Can you go do this? Can you come out Saturday night? Nope, we got church in the morning. I mean, it was like that.
Yeah.
And then, things happen. You kind of have to sit back. Work schedule kind of changed, so I haven't been going to church recently here because of COVID and stuff. But
Right.
I still listen. I've been trying to do more listening.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people are quick to brag, quick to. I just kind of shut everything down.
Yeah.
Like I used to post a Bible verse every day. I think I went 800 and something
Oh
days.
snap, man!
Right? I'm talking about 800 and something days, and then somebody was like, "Oh man, I love that Bible verse you posted," and I was like, "I didn't even read it.
Mm.
I just shared it. Like before I'd read it, kind of see what it was talking about." And
Yeah.
I got to the point where I'm just posting it. I don't even know what it said.
Right.
What Bible verse? I mean, I know I posted one. I don't know what it was.
Mm.
So I was like, "Am I really doing?" It's more of a repetition. I'm not even reading the Bible verse that I'm posting. I'm just posting it.
Right.
So trying to get back to where it was more of a routine. Like if you get up and pray every day, what are you actually praying about?
Mm.
What are you praying for?
Right.
Like you can get up and tell God, "Man, thank you for waking me up." But He knows in your heart that you're happy that you got up because you got something going on.
Right.
So hey, it kind of gets into a routine. Are you really happy that you woke up? Of course, everybody is. God
Yeah.
knows in your heart what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Some people are, man, why'd you wake me up now? I got to go back to this job I hate. But
What you were saying about the habit, that you had where you were posting every single day and you got to the point where you were just doing it because it was what you did,
yeah,
but it necessarily wasn't changing anything inside of you because you got so accustomed to a certain pattern, right? And so I think sometimes we need to shock our system of
yeah,
doing certain things. It's sort of like your diet. I eat a particular way, and I'm the type of guy that just eats the same things every day. But sometimes I need something different. I need to shock my system
yeah,
because my body gets so used to the same foods. Once I throw some pizza in there, once I throw some ice cream or some fried chicken or something,
yeah,
then it's like, whoa, 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 what's this?
yeah,
And then it makes it work even harder. My
yeah,
metabolism makes my metabolism work even harder because it's not used to the extra fat, the extra sugar, and the extra carbs. So sometimes in our relationship with God, we need to shock our system almost because we've gotten in such a routine, whether it's not spending zero time with the Lord, and we need to start a Bible plan, we need to download the YouVersion Bible app on our phone,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just starting with the daily Bible verse. And now they have people on there that do a little devotion
Yeah.
along with the verse. So that's a sweet nuance that they've added. But or maybe it's like you, where you were so, regimented on posting the verse. Maybe you need to take a break from that and start like a devotional plan
Yeah.
where you got 7 days of a specific devotion that you read. For me, I need spontaneity because I'm ADD. I need to do something different.
Yeah.
If I do something every single day, I get bored, right?
Yeah.
It just becomes mundane. And so sometimes what I like to do is take walks. I like to get out of the house, especially when I'm stressed, when I got a lot of things on my mind, on my plate, and I just need a release. I like to walk around our neighborhood and just talk to God. Just walk and talk. And it's crazy how, 20, 30 minutes of walking with the Lord, you can come back and it's almost like you're emptying your mind of all the junk
Yeah.
and you're getting it
Yeah.
out.
Mine was always the drive to work
Oh, yeah.
and home from work.
Yeah.
Like, God heard an earful from me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm yelling at him. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, this is what you
Right. Right.
this is what you did? This is
Right.
what you going, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Really, people probably thought I was crazy at the red light. especially when you ain't, that Bluetooth speaker ain't charged up. That radio don't work.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
I mean, you tried to call 3-4 people to talk to them, and they didn't answer.
They
So
didn't
guess
answer.
what? God, it's your turn. You've been to hear this.
Where do you work?
Man, I work for AMR, it's a private ambulance service,
Yeah.
and
In Nashville.
yeah, it's in Nashville.
So your drive to and from work is 40 minutes.
No, it's only like 20,
20
25
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, that's nice.
No, it's not bad at all. Man, you just jump on 40
Right.
right down the street.
Gotcha.
I wish I didn't have to go there anymore, but still got to pay bills. Man.
That's right.
I told my wife, I said, man, all them years that I let you sit at home, like, and I sit at home.
Time to pay it back.
I was like, man, I got to watch the dogs, man. Somebody got to let these dogs out.
Time to pay it back.
Yeah.
You're keeping the podcast going, baby.
Yeah, man, that's what I had to do. Man, I had to quit my
Place to-
job. I got all these podcasts to do. I need to hear myself talk. If I could talk more alone, it would. But I don't know. Like, I'll listen. Like, you'll listen to people who you get on YouTube, and
Yeah.
somebody is doing a review of a TV show that you like,
Right.
and then they're trying. They're predicting what's going to happen the next episode. Man, I can't get on there and talk like that.
Right.
You know.
You need somebody with you.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm more. Sometimes you want to be surprised.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I want the spoiler of
Right.
what's gonna happen.
Right.
It's like what was it? The Back to the Future when they got all the scores to all the games, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you had that, would you want to know?
Oh yeah. See, that would.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, it'd mess me up, man. It takes the fun.
like I'm
out
a
of
big
it.
Titans fan, and say I had they're playing in the Super Bowl. Would I want to know if they really win or not?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that disappointment, maybe,
Yeah.
because you're not as grateful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like when the Titans first came here. They went to the Super Bowl. Once they became the Titans, the first year that they were the Tennessee Titans, the first year they played at Nissan Stadium, it was called Delphia Coliseum back then. They went to the Super Bowl.
That was the first year, huh?
The first year. So, of course,
Everybody was hyped.
hey, of course, man, I'm a Titan fan. We're going to Super Bowl next year. And then you realize they ain't been back since.
Yeah.
They knocked on the door a couple times, but they really ain't done much
Right.
Still here recently. Like people be like you're really when your kids go, how many Super Bowls have the Titans won? And you realize that they weren't even born when they went to the Super Bowl the one time, where you get to talking about them dang Steelers and they done won, what, 6 or 7?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, forget them
Hey, the
dudes.
last Super Bowl they went to against Green Bay, I was actually living in Korea at the time, South Korea. I was teaching English, the southern kind of English, by the way. But it was crazy because there you're a day behind essentially. So when the Super Bowl was played on Sunday night, I had to wait all day Monday and go to a bar Monday night and watch the game. So the game had already been played. So I had to stay off the internet the entire day
Oh,
and then go to the bar and watch the rerun.
oh man.
Uh, and that was crazy, man. Nobody told me the score, which was good. They said it was a really good game. And so, as a diehard Steelers fan, the whole day you're just like, oh, what happened? What happened? Did
Yeah,
we win? Did we lose? And we ended up losing that one. But
that's
yeah,
man, that's hard to do too. Especially like you got a show comes out. It comes out on a certain day. You got it being recorded. Man, it's so hard to stay away from spoilers.
right.
But you always want to know. Everybody wants to know. You want to know exactly when it happened.
Uh,
That's kind of, I don't know. I guess that's human nature now. Everything's instant.
yeah,
Like nothing really. I've heard people talking about. They want an organic relationship where you met somebody at a grocery store.
yeah.
Like I had a buddy. He just got married recently. They were on dating apps, and I'm like, a dating app. You know how much
Yeah.
damage I could have done if there was a dating app back in the day. Luckily, my wife kind of saved me from that. And I had
Thankfully.
daughters and everything. But golly, I'm just like, man, people could be out here just like that. It amazes me how stuff is now.
Yeah, yeah. The dating apps are crazy, man.
Now I'm old. So I just I finally, when I turned 40 this year, I was like, you know what, man, I'm old.
Boy, you don't look no 40. Come on now.
I'm the big 4-0. I'm 40 ounces. They call me old English. They call me that OE.
the girl that I'm dating now, uh, I had met a couple years ago. We were both coming on staff with FCA, and we were doing training in Kansas City. And so we were just social media friends for a few years, and so I was stalking her social media account
You was stalking?
a little bit. I can't lie, man. I can't lie. I was checking things out because I was thinking, man, this girl is gorgeous. How is she not got a boyfriend? How is she not
Cause she's
married
crazy. That's
yet?
why.
I know. That's what I was thinking. That's why I was trying to, check her posts out and see. She's posting these Bible verses and scriptures and stuff. I mean, could she really be that good? Like, could she really be into God like that? And or maybe like she's got six toes or something. I don't know. I mean, it's all good, but and so I reached out to her, and I was going to see a friend out in San Diego. I'd never been on the West Coast, and my buddy from college was living in San Diego, and he said, "Come on out." And so I just DM'd her and said, "Hey, I'm coming out to San Diego. I was wondering, how far do you live from there?" Because she lives in California.
Yeah.
She lives in Sacramento, which is like 10 hours from San Diego. So I was like, oh, okay. I was hoping I'd get to see you, but uh, and so that sort of started
So
and
you bricked the
initiated.
first shot. So you
Yeah,
shot
I
your shot
did.
and missed.
I did. I bricked that thing, but then I tried again after I went to San Diego. It's like, hey, San Diego is beautiful. Just trying to strike conversation. And we got to talking about Sacramento and how it's got great hiking weather and great places to go and do things outdoors. And so I was like, man, I would love if somebody would give me a tour, wink, wink. So found myself on an airplane to Sacramento that was last October. Now, by God's grace, it's almost been a year.
This is your dating advice
Yeah,
from
man. Hey, you heard it
minivan Matt.
here. You heard it here.
Hey, that's good though. Where uh, me and my wife, uh, we got married the day before my daughter turned 1.
Mm,
Don't really know each other. Got a kid together. Of course, we got a kid together. We're trying to raise a kid. Still don't really know each other. We've been married 17 years this year, and it's really rough.
right,
I mean, we got legally separated once or twice,
right,
but never actually went all the way through with it. I wasn't leaving my house.
right.
She said she wasn't leaving her house. Well, guess what? We're stuck together then. And now that we know each other, and a lot of things like she had some things going on. I had lost my mom, and there's some things that you realize nobody else would have stayed.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
of course, there's probably better looking men. They got better jobs. They got more money. They got
right.
nicer jewelry and everything else. You know, but she stuck around with me, and I'm just like, I don't get it. But so you gotta wherever the people are loyal to you, it just kind of happens like that. Like the reason why you had got divorced.
Yeah,
You was telling me that story, it's just kind of like, you know, I I couldn't jump back in a relationship.
right.
You talk about being hurt and having your guard up
Yeah,
to let somebody else in.
yeah.
It's got to be. I wasn't going through it again.
That
I
trust.
wasn't getting
Trust.
divorced. I joke with her all the time. I was like, I just didn't want to pay child support. you know, that's why I stayed around. I didn't want to pay child support. I told her,
Divorce.
Chloe's 12. You got 6 more years. I ain't putting it up with it no more.
Oh
But she knows
man!
I'm joking when I say it sometimes.
Shout out to you guys though, man. I mean, to be married 17 years and to be you endured some difficult and tough days, and there are difficult days in marriages, man. It's because you got two people that are selfish in nature and want to please themselves and
Yeah.
not think about another person all the time, and you end up serving self rather than your best friend, and so there's divorce in America is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it just keeps
It
seems
is.
like it keeps going up.
It, like one thing that kind of helps is a lot of people are the there's the old fashioned marriage, like your grandparents. Like my grandpa worked. He don't know how much money he even made. He just gave the money to my grandmother. She paid the bill. She didn't work, but
Right,
she cooked, clean. He went to work,
right,
and where I worked. She raised kids for a little bit, but now that we're both kind of working, you know, when my wife says, "Hey, I'm going to church with or without you," it's kind of like,
yeah.
you even grow up in church like I did. Like, what do you mean you're gonna go? Or when your wife tells you you're wrong, when most people, you're supposed to just sit there and get back in the kitchen. Somebody that's gonna put you in your place and actually put
hold
you
your,
in your place.
hold your feet to the fire. Yeah.
So really, really, it's really a blessing. But you know, all the girls that I see out there, I'm like, man, first question I got is, can y'all fight?
So
And they just look at me, and I'm like, my wife can fight. So
what would
don't
you?
don't come over here trying to tempt me.
Right,
And my wife can fight, and she's probably around the corner somewhere.
right.
I'm waiting for her to jump out that closet. What'd you say?
Bird eye. What would you tell someone who's married out there, going through a rough patch, a struggle? What kind of advice, what kind of encouragement would you give?
And main thing that I looked at when I went through all of it, you know, don't give up on somebody because 'cause basically when you get married, what? Oh, but the main thing that I tell people when they get married is now y'all are now one person.
Right.
So if there's a problem with cheating, if there's a problem with drugs, if there's a problem with overspending because somebody's spending and hiding things,
Yeah.
you know, it's not you against that person and the problem. You know, if you got married and you believe in God, if you got married and you don't believe in God, you made a vow to yourself,
Right. Right.
you know, in front of God.
Yeah.
But you made a vow to yourself. You just gonna break vow to yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, you said you loved this person till death do us part. I don't think anybody died.
Right. Right.
The fire, you know, might have died. Like a lot of people say, well, I still love them.
Right.
No, you didn't really love them if you left them.
Yeah.
Now, there's reasons. There's some people with the betrayal, and some things. If somebody don't want to be with you, there's really not much you can do.
Right.
There's that, but that's not your fault.
Yeah.
If somebody says I'm done and they leave and don't come back, try to get them back. But if they don't come back, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I know you've been. I'm saying all these things, and the total opposite has happened to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it wasn't meant to happen. But you got two boys,
Yeah.
right? I got two girls.
Mhm.
I'm already jealous. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, there's you wouldn't have your kids if it wasn't for that learning
That's
process.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my wife been married before. Like my son and my stepson. My wife was married before I met her.
Right.
So that helped,
Right.
you know. Where she was definitely not going to get divorced again. She wanted to, but no, we're gonna have to work through this one. So,
It's
and I just rambled about nothing and didn't
no,
get to my
man. No, no,
point.
no, no, no. That's
But the point I was trying to get was, you got to you got to be on the same page where
right.
there's an addiction. You need to stay in with your partner and help them fight the addiction. That's why
Right.
you're there. You're a team.
Right.
If you want to break up the team, then it's not going to help. Everybody's going to be hurt.
Having gone through a divorce, you know, first of all, I was of the mindset there's no way I'd never get a divorce. Uh, like you were saying, man, I made a vow before God and before witnesses that I was going to love my wife till death do us part. And I'm not the type of guy just to back out of the words that I
Mm.
say.
Yeah.
Uh, Plus, we had two sons. And I was thinking, man, there ain't no way I'm putting these boys through a divorce. And through a set of circumstances that happened, I found myself getting an attorney and going through the process of getting a divorce, and it was at the end of 2019 through 2020. So you take the pandemic and you couple that with the personal life tragedy that was going on in my family with the divorce and the boys and not getting to see the boys like I was used
Yeah.
to, and there was a whole set of circumstances around it that really made the situation difficult. Um, I really had an opportunity to sit back and analyze what happened.
Yeah.
Right? We'd been married 10 years. What happened? And
Oh, that's.
I think,
I think you left that out the first time.
yeah, we'd been married 10 years, man.
Hey.
And so for me, I didn't take care of her emotionally early on in our marriage.
Yeah.
Very selfish, uh, very egocentric about me and my schedule and my sleep and my workouts and my career and my time with the guys and my basketball dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, just it was all evolving around me, and I didn't really take time to acknowledge or
Yeah. That. That's. I think when like my humbled under him thing when I had started it, my kids my kids didn't really say it like this, but it
right,
was more of I'm spending more time with other children
right,
than my own children,
right,
my own family. Like I'm starting my own little family over here with some kids I'm trying to help, and I'm neglecting my own my own kids, and that helped me kind of step back and realize that hold on, let me take a break.
That's what I was doing. I was trying to save the world.
Yeah,
Monday through Thursday, I was working at the church. Friday, I was going down to Nashville and um, visiting Sudicum Apartments, housing project neighborhood,
yeah,
visiting the kids there. Saturday, I was spending half a day taking a bus through the neighborhood, picking up the kids. We'd take them to a church. It was an organization called Mission 615.
yeah,
We'd take them to a church, have a worship service, feed them, take them home. And so Monday through Saturday, practically didn't see my wife.
yeah,
Sunday was a work day for me, technically, as a pastor.
yeah,
So just our relationship began to suffer, and we began going two different lives. She found her job and her security in softball, so she began to give her time and her life over to softball, and then I had the ministry thing going, and
Now,
we're
do you think
business partners.
I don't know, this popped in my head. Do you think that's maybe why you never saw Jesus with a wife and children in the Bible, or the disciples? Hey, they're out here. Who was Peter, John's wife?
Yeah,
Old little Peter Jr. was running around out there. That
yeah,
sounded weird when I said that, but
yeah,
where you kind of got one mission,
right.
or.
Even Paul said it's better not to marry, or he said it's better to marry than burn with lust. But he also said the ideal situation would be not to marry,
Yeah.
so you can focus
'Cause
your mind on
I was doing a podcast with. I was doing the Morals of a Good Guy podcast, man. Me and DJ Rev was talking about, and he was talking about love, and I was like, well, love's a weird love is a weird thing where I love my wife. Now that's a different love than me loving my children, and that's a different love than me loving my parents. There might even be a different love of how I love God and Jesus, right?
right,
Where what kind of love are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, I love ice cream. you know, where when I say there's different types of love, like I love my wife, where we do marital things. Or I love my children. Like my children are never gonna, you know, not necessarily never disappoint me, but I'm gonna love them regardless, unconditionally. Where I do love my wife, but she could do something that could stop stop the love right there. Kind of like you were married, and then all of a sudden now, boop.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why that popped in my head about the trying to minister. I think that's probably why they say that your home is your first ministry. Yeah,
So true, man. So true. So
it's kind of a lesson to learn. Suck.
big.
It really sucks, but sometimes I mean, Frontline probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be where it is. And there's a lot of things that you had to go through.
Yeah, for sure. You look at David, who was a mighty, mighty, humble warrior. This is a guy who slayed a 9 foot tall giant. This guy who killed a lion and a bear. This guy who killed thousands upon thousands of other soldiers, and just a straight up warrior. But at the same time, he was so humble in heart. God made him, appointed him, anointed him to be king over his people, the most popular king Israel ever had. But even David got comfortable.
Yeah.
David got complacent. And instead of going out to war in the springtime like the kings normally did, he decided to stay back. He saw Bathsheba over on the rooftop bathing.
Mm.
She's a beautiful girl. Hey, go bring her to me. Finds out she's married. He sleeps with her. She's pregnant. What am I going to do now? Well, let's go get her husband. We'll bring her husband who's fighting the war. We'll bring him back. We'll try to get him drunk. He'll sleep with her. It'll be their baby. Well, Uriah, being a man of integrity, said, "Man, I can't go sleep with my wife when my guys are out there fighting." So he sleeps outside. So David's like, "What am I gonna do now?" So then he has Uriah put on the front lines, and everybody else retreated, shot and killed. And so just like that, man, just one decision. I'm gonna stay back instead of do what I'm supposed to do. Led to, oh, she's beautiful. Led to, oh, I can have her. I'm King David. I can have whatever I
Yeah.
want. Led to murder. And then David's just completely blind to it. Blind to it until God sends the prophet Nathan, opens up David's eyes, and then David just crashes.
Yeah.
God, who am I? I'm so sorry. But through that sin, Bathsheba became pregnant, and that baby was lost. But then he married Bathsheba after Uriah was killed by the hands of David. They had a boy named Solomon, and Solomon ended up being the third king behind David in Israel.
Mm.
And God used him to build the temple, which is where God's people would come and worship. So out of destruction, out of pain, out of chaos, out of sin, God brought redemption.
Yeah.
He brought hope. And so that's what I'm seeing by his grace right now, is that through our pain and through our mess, he's turning it into a message to be able to share with other people. And now, God willing, in this new relationship, you know, I'm very sensitive and I'm very aware of what I did in the past that was not right. And now I'm coming at this new relationship with a focus of,
Yeah.
okay, I can't do that again. I got to cherish this woman. I got to protect this woman. I got to pursue this woman. because this woman is who I want to spend the rest of my days with, and if that's going to happen, then I gotta get my act
Mm-hmm.
together as a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of where still got to provide sometimes, but
Oh yeah, for sure, man,
but
for sure.
I
Yeah,
think that a lot of people forget that I think a lot of people the redemption, the being shown grace, or given a second chance.
right,
Some people, the most people are hard on people that have had that second chance.
right.
But no, they done did it once. They'll do it again. Trust me, I was one of those people.
Yeah,
You know, I think there's a lot of stories that need that. Kind of. You probably knew that story and didn't realize sometimes it happens to you.
yeah,
Till it happens to you.
right.
You know,
And
mm.
then you read that story in a different light.
And it's like, oh, there it was, right there the whole time.
It hits you different,
Yeah,
right?
man. Well, I think we're gonna end it up, man. We've been talking about an hour or so. Golly.
Let's go,
But
man. Flew by.
man, if you want to tell people how to get a hold of you,
Yeah,
you want to tell
yeah.
people how they can donate to your nonprofit. It would help you, help the kids, help whatever, or how they could get you to come speak at an event or anything like that, man. You go on out there and put your information out, and
Love to, man. MMinspires.com. That's double M. So MMinspires.com is my website.
like Matt Malone inspired. So
Yeah, yeah,
MMI.
yeah, yeah. So you can go there and it'll give you sort of the details of what Frontline is about. Give you some testimonials, some videos that you can check out and just see, what the Lord's been doing, and if you feel led to give and invest into the ministry, man, I'd be so grateful and so humbled to have you on board. And there's a way to donate there through the website. I'm on Instagram, uh, Frontline Malone. My Twitter game's not that good, so I'm not going to give you that one.
Yeah, I'm not good at Twitter.
And then Facebook, you can find me, Matt Malone. But man, just grateful for the opportunity to come and hang out with you today, man. You got
Yeah,
a
I
great
know.
setup, and just to get to know you a little bit more too. It's been
Yeah,
good. So
I'm thankful that you came. I was like, man, I gotta get him on. I gotta get him on podcast. But then I get down on myself. I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. Oh man, I can't get my producer over here. Man, let me try this thing by myself. So I'm glad you came. I'm glad we didn't mess up too bad. I know this one camera kind of went weird. I don't know if it's still recording or not, but we got the audio. That's all that matters.
yeah, that was the one. That was your camera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As long as mine's still working, we're straight.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So I still got to do a little more research on all of it. I'm like, oh, it ain't that bad. You just press enter. But man, thanks for coming, man, and maybe we get you on a little more, man. We can talk about something that ain't so I'm more a little uplifting.
Oh
But
yeah,
sometimes you just get to. I thought about naming the podcast "The Rabbit Hole" because I get other people on here, man. It goes from this to that to over here, and I'm like, man,
wherever the conversation
yeah,
leads.
we got to talking so long, man. I gotta go take a bathroom break. So yeah, man, everybody, follow follow Matt, man. Check out his website. Donate if you can. Donate if you want to.
Mm.
Donate if you're led to. Yep. We out.